First off, gang, thanks for coming out. Hats off to Oklahoma State. They were obviously the better team today. When you break down a dual meet this time of year, you're always looking towards March as you get to February, and I guess we're in February now. So I can tell you there was a lot of really good things that I and our staff can draw from there. We sure winning's a heck of a lot of fun, but the older I get and the more I do this, I learn a lot more, and I seem to have a lot more influence with my athletes when we lose. So we'll have a lot of influence on Monday, no doubt, to work on. And we've got some guys that I don't think that are that far away, but needed a little bit of a wake-up call. You try to put them in as difficult of situations as you can. So when they get in those over and over again, they're not as difficult. And there's probably nowhere as difficult to wrestle right now in college wrestling than the atmosphere here at Gallagher. So we knew it was going to be tough. In some places we excelled, and obviously in more places we didn't excel. But the learning lesson I can tell you as a coach, I don't want to say excited about, but it's needed right now as we need to get some guys' attention. So I'll open it up to you guys.
197 pounds, really eventful match there. Some sequences that were maybe close to a takedown. A lot of drama there. What do you think about 197?
Well, it was a heck of a match to watch if you're watching it, inside there, or you're at home watching. I'm sure it was a barn burner to watch. I don't think we needed to make it that close, but I tip my hat to their guy. He came out ready to compete, and Rocky figured out a way to get it done. But we need to finish that takedown in the first period, and we didn't do that. So something to work on.
Talk about getting the momentum back in those last three weights. Obviously, there was 2-3 third period takedowns that came in matches. A couple of them you guys were planning on winning. Just talk about your upper three weights and getting the momentum back.
Well, it was pretty much it was a dead event by then, but yeah, it was good to get those last three wins. I mean, you obviously can't go win the dual meet with three guys, but losing that match at 41, I thought the officials, it's tough being an official. I thought that was a tough call against us, but there's probably some other calls that Oklahoma State thought was tough against them too. So I didn't agree with that takedown, but 41, 49, and 57 killed us. If we would have won those three dual meets, those three individual matches, they were all barn burners, came down to the very, very end, and if we would have won those, we would have won the dual meet. I don't even know if we would have won 2 out of the 3, where we probably still would have lost, but we needed to win those. And the exciting part is we get a chance to do this again in a month with them, so we'll be fired up for that.
Kind of unique. You have Chris Perry on your staff, and he's obviously a big figure here. Kind of talk about, I guess, what his perspective was coming in, at least that you saw.
Well, Chris is a high energy. There's no question how much the Perry Smith family loves the sport of wrestling. So he's been able to help our regional training center immensely, and just be around our athletes, and just anytime you can get quality people like that. Think having Nate Carr with all his credentials and Chris Perry with all of his credentials around our athletes in the modern world we live in of RTCs and colleges and stuff like that. Just a great more set of more eyes on our athletes.
Can you give us an update on Frost?
He had a great practice on Tuesday. He woke up Wednesday, didn't feel good. We left Thursday. They decided to test him for the flu. They called me Thursday morning and said he had the flu, but they were going to send him with a mask because he didn't have a fever, but he tested positive. And I'm like, I don't know how that works. That doesn't make sense to me. But they let him come, and we thought, maybe he'd wake up Friday and feel pretty good. He went to bed in Norman on Thursday night and didn't wake up till Saturday afternoon. So he was pretty sick, and he wanted to do that match. But that Jack Force guy's pretty good too. So.
Can you talk a little bit about Jack's just unique coming in mid-semester, a lot of experience, but coming in and just getting into the flow of OSU wrestling?
Yeah, you see that a little bit more and more, but Jack's is special. You see that with kids. There's high school kids come ready to college, more and more ready to go all the time. There's just they've got so many hands on them, college hands on them when they're 15, 16, 17 years old. Again, kind of back to the regional training centers, it's really allowed these kids to get high-level coaching, at the age of 15 years old, and by the time they get to 19, you look what you got.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, gang.